All right, y'all, welcome to another episode of Hey, What Did I Miss? It's your boy, Coach Cam. We got a very special guest, my man, KP. Some people are called the plug. He is the socket. You know what I'm saying? They try to get to him to get that energy. Today, we're going to be talking about the effects of underfunded women's sports. Women's sports has grown tremendously over the past year. People like Kobe, God rest his soul, who's been pushing it out, helping his little girl get going. And the influx of, I love the beauty of social media where I'm able to get access to all of these clips and highlights and seeing somebody like, hopefully I pronounce her name right, A.B. Fudd, handing out work. And then the girl, Paige from Connecticut, mid-range, mid-range killer. You know what I'm saying? So, just to name a few, man, it's been wonderful to see that, especially now that I have a daughter, I can finally point and say, look, that's what I want you to, that right there, you can be that, you can do that, or use it as a resource like I did. Like I said, KP is the outlet. Can you give us like a little bit of what you do? Because you got your hands and everything. Just give me a little bit, please.
No doubt. First of all, I appreciate, taking the time. Appreciate you inviting me. I always love to connect with good people, and you've been not only, good people, but you've been a blessing to my family, being that, you've been around my son and you've been a positive influence, and, it takes a village, brother. So I appreciate what you do. I appreciate you creating this, because this is a platform that, we need more of to talk, especially amongst us. Black men are targets nowadays, but it's good to see the positive side too, that they don't always show. So again, thanks. Small introduction, Kenneth Pannell. Everybody calls me KP. I am originally from Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
But I was raised in a small town called Hurt, Virginia. And like I always tell people, if you've ever seen the show Moonshiners, I come from where those guys come from. I know those guys. I grew up with the guys who created moonshine. So I'm a moonshine enthusiast. So I know what it tastes like. I know what good moonshine tastes like. And from that, I'm just a basketball head. Born and raised in the South, Southern gentleman. Went to school, Old Dominion University, moved to Delaware after college, and worked on Wall Street for many years. And, if you work on Wall Street, you have to move to New York at some point. And that's what I did. And, had a family when I came here and met my wife, and now have a family and living. So, stopped working on Wall Street and went back to my roots, which is, basketball and especially on the girls side. I'm really heavy in grassroots girls basketball. I have my own company called Kontinous Performance Athletics, which we do a lot of tournaments. I do a lot of scouting. I scout for ESPN. I do my own scouting. I help with, the younger ages. And the biggest thing is, I guess, my relationships with, everybody. I'm big on relationships, whether it's college coaches, whether it's AAU coaches, high school coaches, any type of grassroots basketball, I'm generally involved in, especially here in the Northeast, because I felt like for so many years, people say New York, New Jersey, the basketball's gone. Well, no, it's not gone. We just haven't been noticed like we should. So that's one of my jobs, to make sure that our area, especially on the girls' side, which I specialize on the girls' side, and I don't have a horse in the race. I don't have a daughter. I don't have a team. I have a son. And, obviously I have to get back into it for his sake on that side, but I'm a strict component of girls' basketball.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. Listen, I want to tell everybody how connected we are. I taught your son for a few years and still am, and he's always welcome in my gym, that. And it's funny how, I'm gonna give a little bit of a flowers real quick. Anytime I've mentioned your name in any basketball circle I'm involved in, they say, "Oh, KP? Oh, he's a good dude." Straight up. That's it. Once I hear, "Oh, he's a good dude," like, there's no, well, how some guys you like, what? Nah, KP? Oh, he's a good dude. For anybody I dealt with, I mention your name, it's been nothing but love. So, I want you
Appreciate
to,
that.
know that. Let's talk about, some of the differences, obviously, varying differences between the equipment and access to information, access to facilities and things like that that women have versus the guys side. I saw a post a few months ago where the girls team was showing the type of food they was having, and then they had some yoga mats to work out. And then they showed the boys looked like they had the Alabama football facility that they were able to use. Um, just as a basketball purist, I was upset. I don't want to hear anything. I don't hear the budget, the money. I don't want to hear anything. I was upset. We got to give everybody an equal chance, equal opportunity to be successful, especially on the women's side, because I love watching the women's side. They're very fundamentally sound, very technical. I even steal some of their play. Beautiful game to watch. Let's talk about some of the disparities you've seen in the women's game.
I've been around good girls basketball for a long, long time. Old Dominion, when I was there, they went to the Final Four. So that just tells you how good the team was there. And I've always noticed the differences. I mean, being in the space really lets you know that there's levels to this. Now, on the boys' side, they're always looking for the next Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. They don't necessarily do that on the girls' side because there's a level. There's a level of, on the boys' side, the level is to make it to the pros. On the girls' side, I preach get your education. Mm-hmm. Now, from that, people don't see the ultimate money. And that's what everybody's chasing in the end, is the money. Now, here's something interesting. At the grassroots level, girls basketball makes a whole lot more money than boys basketball. Mm-hmm. And people don't realize that. And let me tell you why. Boys basketball, they'll all jump in a van. You'll send your son, all right, if the coach is good, go. Girls basketball, you're not sending your daughter with just anybody.
Oh, no, sir.
You're going to send it. And guess what? When you get there, you're going to pay that door fee. Guess what? Auntie's going to come. Little brother's going to come. Granddad's going to come. That's your favorite cousin. They all want to see their baby girl play basketball. So think how much money they're making at the door. And people see that. They make a whole, boys basketball, they don't make that much at the grassroots level. They don't make that much basketball. But then as you start to go up, high school, the money decreases. Mm-hmm. College, the money decreases. Pros, the money decreases. And not only that, the attendance decreases. Mm-hmm. Because the average person can watch men's basketball and feel some type of connection. Not everybody can do that on women's basketball. We as basketball people, we can watch anybody play and enjoy it and find joy out of it. But because the girls don't jump as high, because the girls aren't as athletic, people don't find the love in it that we find. And you made a great point that girls are way more fundamentally sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I'm trying to help my son develop, I'm training him like he's a girl. And that's no disrespect to the girls, but I want him to be fundamentally sound. I want him to know how to dribble the ball the right way, how to shoot the ball the right way. I don't want him to have to rely on athleticism because I don't know if he's going to have all of that.
Athleticism can be taken from us.
Very quickly.
Very quickly.
I mean, I know that as a 50-year-old pretty fast. Yeah. My mind wants to do something and my body's like, no way. So having the WNBA in the bubble and not providing the same type of love, same with the NCAA basketball tournament, that's just a slap in the face to the sport. Not let's separate it from men's and women. It's not that. It's a slap in the face to the sport because in the end, these are athletes. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, during this pandemic, they were entertaining us. So in college, they're not getting paid, but they were still entertaining us. Mm-hmm. So somebody was getting the money for that. Mm-hmm. That TV money is different. We all know that. Mm-hmm. But what they chose to do was put that money in their pockets and not provide the same platform for the women. So it's been an ongoing problem. And one of the faults I see is sometimes I just think they got the wrong people in charge. I think it's more corporate people. Mm. It's not people who are on the ground. We're on the ground. We got our ear to the streets. Doesn't mean we're not corporate. I worked on Wall Street. I know that side of the business too. But they only go with guys who are more corporate, and they don't understand, the needs of, women's basketball. They need more things than some of the guys do. From their sneakers to their uniforms need to be cut a different way. Sneakers need to be cut a different way. Obviously other accessories that they need that we don't need. And until we put somebody in position to say, oh no, this is what they need, then it's always going to be this type of disparity. They're not going to really respect it until somebody really steps forward and says, hey, I'm a part of this and this is what they need.
Thank you so much. Because going back to what you said earlier, and something you started talking and it made me think. Anytime my mom would send me out for a game, she'd be like, all right, go play. I'd walk a couple of blocks, go to the gym, play whatever league I'm in, right? But anytime my sisters my sisters had a dance recital or a twirling recital, grandma was there, grandpa was there, dad, everybody, the whole crew was there. And you just made me like, I'm thinking about it like, yeah, you're right. And I say, oh, I got a game today. All right, baby, just thought we'd be here, lunch and blah, blah, blah. And I would go to the game by myself. And not to say they wouldn't come, they would come once in a while, but it wouldn't be like an event, like the whole crew. And in that way, I could see it definitely making a lot more money than coming to the boys' game. But so then who's pocketing this money then? All these funds are generated. All these funds are being generated, and who's pocketing this money?
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. There's some greedy event operators out here that they want to lace their pockets. And listen, your business model is your business model. I have my own business model. Now, do I have to charge and do certain things? Absolutely. But do you take advantage of the kids? I just can't see that. And listen, I'm in a business where guys are charging kids $1,200 just to tweet their name out, hoping that a college coach will see them. I think that's unethical. I don't see the positive piece of that. And I'm a scout. People know I know college coaches, and I've been offered money to do that, but I don't see, like, that's just unethical to me. I don't like the fact that someone is doing that on that type of level.
Right. It's exploitation. It's exploitation. I know you want to get to the top, so I'm gonna charge you $1,200 to
Just
maybe get a look.
I mean, get a look. Tweet. So when I see a kid's name tweeted out, I'm like, somebody didn't cashed out.
Yeah.
Somebody. And listen, some of these parents got it. So I mean, if they cool about it, but what does it help the child in the end?
No.
Does the kid end up going to a school that probably he shouldn't have gone to? And that's why the transfer portal has almost 1,000 kids in it.
Right. And the kids get stuck. They get stuck in positions that they don't want to be in, and
Correct.
they're like, "Oh, I got to get out of here." And they were advised horribly by somebody. That's the other thing. For example, yesterday, I ride my bike every day. I just happened to stop by the park. I was watching, saw some kid. He was hooping. He goes to ASA. He was hooping. His release point was low, and I can't help myself. I'm like, your release point is low. It's like it's driving me crazy. Like, he's a talented kid. Release point is low. Oh, you a coach? I tell him the stuff I do. He's like, oh, can you give me some tips? But I can't pay. I'm like, pay for what? This is a free game. What do you mean pay? If you want me to help you, I'm gonna help you. Like, if I can, give me a number. If I see some stuff, I'll send it to you. Like, I'm not. You mean pay? I said, free game. I said, payment for me is that I see you make it. That means you use what I gave you. That's payment. What do you mean pay? And he looked at me all confused, like, no, dude, free game, yo. That's we're supposed to help each other get better.
But that's what's missing too. That's what's missing. They don't play in the park, and that's how we played. We didn't have a trainer. Trainer. What is that? I never knew what a trainer was. And now most of these trainers nowadays are the guys who couldn't play in the park.
Right.
I'm looking at them like, wait a minute, you could make the team back then. Now you're a trainer.
Now you're a trainer because you know all the little stuff and things to do. Okay, how do you apply that in the game? Well, how do you apply that move in the game?
Correct. We learn by going out there and playing all day
and losing.
Beat up.
Losing. So I'm tired of losing. I'm gonna figure it out. Who can you tell us to look out for? Can you tell us anybody special coming up to look out for? Coming up in the ranks? You don't want to give up too many secrets. I understand,
I mean, honestly, you mentioned AZ Fudd. She's
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
I mean, when I say different, she's different. There's a kid in California that's dynamite. Her name's Juju Watkins.
Mhm,
Just different. She's AZ Fudd like. I mean, that UConn's recruiting class for this year and next year,
mhm.
and Juju's not in one of these kids. Juju's only a sophomore in high school. UConn's recruiting class: Caroline Ducharme, AZ Fudd.
Mm.
They got a kid out of Ohio who can dunk. I mean, off a vert dunk like that. Between them and South Carolina, they're going to be the best teams in the country. I mean,
Mm.
I see the best of the best. Here in the Northeast, there's a couple of eighth graders
Mhm.
that you're going to hear about really soon. One name is Kaylin Carroll. She's out of Massachusetts.
Mhm.
Already 6'1", 6'2", and is a point
Oh,
guard.
goodness. A point guard, 6'.
Can do it
That's
all. I
what,
mean,
listen, man. The game has changed so much for them, and they got it. And I'm so happy, like the girls and the women get love and access to stuff. Because now they got. Before it was to be the only thing they came to was dunk. Now they dunk it. Now what? I see some of them get to it. They hit you tween. I feel like Filet. They hit you with a little tween pull up at the elbow, and I'm like, oh my goodness
yeah,
gracious!
nothing you can do.
And nothing you can do. Get into their spots.
Yeah, I've seen
So,
some great eighth graders. Zen Craft out of DC, Maryland area. A kid upstate New York, Madison Francis. Most athletic kid I've probably ever seen at that age.
mhm.
Um, Making left hand passes, primarily, and she's a right handed player. And you just
Yeah.
don't see that as eighth graders. So I've seen a lot of kids,
Mhm.
and this weekend will be big when I go to this event at Spooky Nuke. I'll see the best of the best in the Northeast.
Mhm.
And it's just good for the game, man, just to see it grow the way it's growing. It's good
Yeah.
to, have people support it. Myself, I have a conglomerate of guys who come in this weekend to kind of scout some kids. But the game's growing, man. I'm excited about it. And, one thing I probably should have mentioned at the beginning, I do one of the biggest, I guess, soirees or whatever parties at the Women's Final Four every year, which
Mhm.
develops relationships. It's a relationship builder. People come and they meet other people. They meet AU coaches. They meet college coaches. They meet, parents. And it goes back to what I always say: relationships are so
Yeah.
so important, man. I mean, people call it a kiss the KP ring party, but it's not. It's hey, I want to bring everybody together, and where most of us are at the Final Four anyway. We haven't been able to do it the last 2 years, obviously because of the pandemic, and I've been, it sucks. But uh, the test of a relationship is when people still call you and saying they miss things like that, or hey KP, man, I just miss talking to you and things like that. So that, if anything, is what my legacy I want it to be.
Mhm.
Just hey, KP is a good dude, man. He helped us out. He always looked out for us. He never did anything to be a sucker. And
Right.
it's a lot of
Yeah.
that running
Oh,
around here.
100% fact. Hey, listen, I love that you spoke about like a lot of everything that you have spoken about today is always talked about bringing people together, right? Not a lot of people understand the power of network. Like, this is how we get a lot of these things done. This is how the kid who you think uh, will never be seen gets seen. This is how the kid you felt came out of nowhere did come out of nowhere. Why? Because of the positive connections that you build with other people, and the power of networking is tremendous. It's amazing. Like another example, what you mentioned Serge, and I lit up, right? Serge is my guy. I was
There's
like, yo, Serge
my
is my
guy.
guy. I can hit him up. Yo, oh, you know, keep it. So, oh, you got the house. Oh, I heard you got the hostel job, man. And I haven't spoken to Serge in years. But as soon as I heard some good news, I'm on his phone. I'm like, oh, congrats. Just the power of networking, knowing people, being positive, being real. And I think you bring that to everything you do, and it shows. In the darkest times and the best of times, you've been real
Absolutely.
and stay true to yourself. And that's why you're able to, do what you do, and then people trust you. And that's another big part of this game as well, man. That a lot of people don't understand that when you're in this basketball circle, the sports world, a lot of the stuff is built on trust. You have to trust people, and you got to take care of people because you never know what position they're going to be in later on that you may
Right.
need them, or they may need you again and bring you along. So it's always important to be consistent and do things the best you can. Sometimes it may not end up the right way because we don't know things happen, but being a person of character is always important. So
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely. I
think
mean,
that's one of
and
the
that's one thing, I saw being around you. It's, we don't know everything. We do not know everything. As much as people want to say no, I don't know everything. Can I try to find the answer for you? Can I be straight up with you? Absolutely.
Mhm.
And that's about, the character and the people we've been around. Listen, you and I both, we've been around the thuggiest of the thugs,
Mhm.
and we've been around the corporate of the corporate.
Right.
Somewhere is a happy medium that has to be met. And I think yourself, you're very good at that, and I think I'm very good at that. I can talk to the president, or I can go down to the jail and talk to those guys too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Uh, Real quick, man. Let me get a little playoff talk with you real quick. Give you a
Okay,
couple
absolutely.
of minutes. I found out that CP3 is in. He's got a health and safety protocol, but he actually had taken the COVID shot and still wound up with COVID.
Right.
Right? Because I was feeling a little weird. I'm like, hold on, they got CP3 in health and safety protocol, but my man LeBron was doing the cha cha in the commercial, and then he was able to play. I was feeling a little,
Right.
what I'm saying? I was feeling a little funny about that. So, what are your thoughts on that? I want to
I think it goes back to what we talked about before, money.
brought
It's
it
all
up.
about the
Yeah.
money. I mean, listen, CP3 is a great player, but
Oh,
LeBron just brings a different type of atmosphere to
yeah.
basketball. He's the best player,
Mhm.
you know, quote unquote, in
Unquote.
many guys' opinions.
Mhm.
And he sells. He sells a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris Paul doesn't necessarily sell a lot.
Right.
And although, he does his great commercials, he does great for the community, he's not a LeBron type figure.
Right.
LeBron is on Michael Jordan type figure. And they're not going to just let him sit. It's going to have to be hell or high
100%.
water for him to not play, and it's going to have to be a physical injury. I just didn't think they were going to do that to him from a COVID standpoint.
Right.
Now, even with what's going on with Chris Paul, it's more to this that we don't know.
Of course. Of course.
I think when it's time to go, he's going to play.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I mean, I had some plans with Junior NBA that they canceled because they said, "Hey, we want everybody to be vaccinated. We want," and it's
Mhm.
hard. Everybody has their own beliefs.
Right.
You know, and I'll be totally honest. I struggled with getting the vaccination myself, but
I did too. Yeah.
because of what I do, I felt like it was necessary. Not to say I was pushed a little bit from a home life
Uh-huh.
situation, but I never took the flu shot. I'm fairly healthy because I could lose a few pounds, but other than that, I'm fairly healthy, and so I don't believe in a lot of that type. I don't even take Advil or things like that
Mm.
anymore. I just
Okay.
feel like take me a nice good shot of apple cider vinegar and a probiotic, clean my system out,
Clean the
and keep
system
keep
out, and
keep,
that's
keep
good.
it going, keep it going.
Yes,
So,
sir.
the struggle with, whether to take the vaccination or not is real out
Right.
here. People have their own beliefs, and you can't fault them for their beliefs. But in the same sense, what do you do? I wanted to take my son to the game the other night. They said, it was a last minute thing. You find a last minute ticket. But they
Mhm.
said in order for him to come in, he needed to have a test. But
Yeah.
we couldn't find any tests. I'm vaccinated. I could have went, but he couldn't go because he didn't have a test within the last 3 days. So
Mhm. Yeah.
COVID is something we're going to have to live with. I feel like
Mhm.
it's just going to be in a year or so. It's going to be the flu.
Yeah.
We just learning how to deal with it, a little bit better. But who's to say in our lifetime we would have ever seen anything like this? I mean, to be able to say that we had to sit at home for a whole year,
That's
it's crazy.
that's
That's the
crazy.
craziest thing you ever done. So the effect that is having on sports is because I don't know if you were watching maybe last week where the golfer was leading and they found out he had it and he had to drop out.
Oh, I didn't see. That's new. Wow. Wow.
So
Yeah.
things like that is going to affect it. But when you have those figures like LeBron James,
Mhm.
it's too much money that they're
Too much
losing.
money to go lose. Yeah.
That's billions of dollars they're losing just for him to make an appearance in certain situations. They're not going
They're,
to lose that money, man.
they already lost the China money.
Yeah,
Talk about that
they're
later.
trying to recruit some of their money. I mean, you look at these flights and stuff now, and what these hotels are costing nowadays. Man, this stuff is outrageous. I'm looking
They're
at that
trying,
and like,
they're trying to make it all back at once.
yeah, they trying to get their money back.
They're trying to get all their money back. But here's the thing: people are paying it because they're so easy to get out.
People want to get out.
People want to get
People
out.
want to do things, and although I enjoy being, home, I
Mhm.
want to do things too, bro. I mean,
Right.
I do want to see stuff live. I want to go and be able to feel the energy. I want to be able to, continue to build relationships. I want to
Right.
be able to continue to, sit down and talk to people and fellowship. And that's what, again, we were raised on things like that.
Right.
Now, obviously, what's different with this generation now is the phone. They can just do everything off of this.
Right. Or the video
Instead
game. They
of
on the game talking to each other. And,
yeah, they
you
playing
know,
their games, they're chatting with their friends. I never, I had to pick up the phone and no one,
mhm.
no three, and,
Or
and physically talk or meet in the park.
ride your bike to the house, and hopefully that's the right one
Correct,
they had. You know.
correct.
Um,
So
yeah. Yeah. This year's been uh, interesting. I will say this: I don't regret it at all. As you know, I'm a basketball junkie. So being in this building, coaching was in my veins. But I will never ever take back the opportunity I had to spend a year, taking my son outside or playing with him and interacting. And then, the big one, trying to figure him out. And then we had a little girl. So I'll never take that time away because I really, when you're working all the time, you don't get that one on one. You don't get that one on one time. You don't see them walk. You don't see them make the face. You don't see them, say their first words. And I really got that opportunity being at home. Yeah, I'm a person that likes to get out and do things, but man, hey, I wouldn't take it back. I got that chance to do those things. I'll never take it back.
absolutely, and that's what life is about, man. It's
Yeah,
about your family because why do we really do any of this stuff? It's to
right.
build. It's for the legacy that they can say
Legacy.
that hey, my father, did right by me, and I want to be the model of what he was because that's what my father was to me.
Right.
My father was hard on me, but now
Uh-huh.
I understand why
Right.
he was
Yeah.
hard on me. He was like, nah, you gotta do this, and
You're
I
like,
want to
nah,
hang
I
out
gotta
and
do
build
that.
love.
Right. Then you call your father, yo, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Now I know why he
absolutely,
was looking at me crazy like that. Because I be
yeah,
making the same face.
absolutely, absolutely. And so, again, with today's day and age, it takes a village, especially
Yeah.
we live in Brooklyn. This
Yeah.
ain't Hurt, Virginia, where it's a little bit different. This is Brooklyn, where you can go on the wrong block and it could be some trouble. But
Yeah.
again, guys like you and I who get the respect of the streets because we've been around to help their kids or they seen us in the community helping other kids.
Mhm.
Those guys respect us.
Right.
They're not gonna let
Oh,
nothing happen to our kids.
right. Right.
And to be honest, that was one of my main motivations into even getting into this when I came moved to Brooklyn.
Mhm.
I wanted a safe environment for my son. I wanted people to say, "Oh, that's KP's son. He can't
Mhm.
be doing this stuff."
You can't be
So
doing that. Yeah.
no, no.
Oh yeah,
So yeah,
there's been times I see him in the park. Will you come in? Come in. William, oh, your mama over there. Okay. All right, go
yeah.
on. Yeah, yeah.
It's a
That's
village,
what it's
brother.
supposed to be. It's the village. Yeah, it's the village.
It's truly a village.
All right, man. That's a wrap for the show. Thank my man KP for coming on. And I
Anytime,
appreciate your time. I might hit you with another topic later this summer, man. Get on.
absolutely. Anytime you need
I
me, I'm
love
here.
I actually love doing this. We chop it up a little bit more on here and then man, I'll even get my man Coach Rob on here.
Absolutely,
We talking.
absolutely.
All right,
That's
y'all. Catch me on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, all your streaming joints. Peace.